When it comes to actually strumming and playing chords on guitar, there's 5 essential strumming patterns that you should learn. Now, by learning these patterns, you can then go out and play thousands of songs. We're going to start this video with the easiest pattern that you can start playing today if you're a complete beginner. And then later on in the video, we're going to get into some more complex patterns that might challenge people out there who can already play guitar. Now, the first pattern is just a simple downstroke pattern. This is when you start at the top of the guitar and go all the way down. A lot of times I'll see beginner guitarists kind of take the pick and they'll move their entire hand up and down, but it should be more of a flick motion. So what I want you to do with this pattern is you start at the top. You want to, first of all, hold your pick. I like to use my first and second fingers. And then on the back, I actually use my thumb. And once you get a comfortable grip, all you're going to do is just start at the top and do a flick motion down. Your whole wrist is kind of flicking. What I'm doing with my left hand is I have just the strings muted, so it's not super loud or anything. And you're just going to get comfortable with that. And once you get comfortable with that, the next step is adding in that chord with our left hand, which is the E minor. Take your middle finger and you go to the 5th string, so you count up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you go up 2 frets, 1, 2. And then once you're here, you want to be right before the metal part of the fret. You're going to take your 3rd finger and put it right behind. All right, once you're comfortable with the down pattern, we're going to keep it simple, and now we're going to do the down up pattern. So this is really just when we do a downstroke and then an upstroke. Now, when a lot of people attempt this, they have a hard time because upstroking on the guitar is a lot more difficult than doing a downstroke. So let's just work on that upstroke first. So with our left hand, what we're going to do is we are going to stop the string like this. We're going to stop all the strings. And with our right hand, we're going to start from the bottom here. Make sure to hold the pick correctly. Like I said, use 2 fingers here, thumb on the back, and we're just going to work on going up. Now, what I actually like to do is I like to almost hit it at an angle. So you want to hit that first string at an angle. You're not going like this. You're not holding the pick like that. You want to hit the strings at an angle and flick back. It's all in the wrist. It's just in the flick of the wrist, just like it is this way. You want to be flicking up. You don't want to be bringing it down. You want to be doing a flick motion. Once you get comfortable with that, you're going to hold down that E minor chord, and we're going to start at the top, and we're going to go down, up. You want to make sure that it's 2 separate motions. You have a down motion, and then you have an up motion. You're not just going. You want to make sure you're going down, up, just like that. So make sure it's 2 separate motions with this pattern, down, up, and you're doing a flick in the wrist. If you need to take a break, sometimes it can be a little tricky on the wrist if you've never done it before. You can pause a minute, practice, and get back to it. So we started out with that downstroke pattern, then we had the down up pattern second. Now this pattern is what we call the down, down, up, down, up pattern. It's really complicated. No one actually calls it that. They call it the folk pattern if they're actually going to name it anything. So you're going to start with 2 downs. So you're going to, let's take that E minor chord again. So with our left hand, we're going to hold down that E minor. And we're going to do 2 downs. We're going to go down, down. Now these are both a beat apart, and what I mean by that is if we're kind of tapping our foot along, we're tapping our foot like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do each with 1 beat. 1, 2. And then right after that, we're going to do an up, but we're not going to wait another beat. We're going to do it in between the beats. So we have this, down, down, up. So just get comfortable with that, down, down, up. So notice how there's a pause between the 2 downs, but when you do the up, you're not waiting as much. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up. Just get comfortable with that. Down, down, up. Down, down, up. Down, down, up. Okay, here's where it gets a little more complicated. We're going to do another upstroke. So normally when people are first starting to strum on the guitar, they want to always go down, up, like this. But with this pattern, what we're doing is we're going to go down, down, up, up. So we're going to do 2 ups in a row, which is a little more complicated, but I know you'll be able to get it. Hold down that E minor with the left hand. I'm going to do it 1 time, and then I want you to try to play along. So what we're doing is this. Down, down, up, up. Down, down, up, up. Down, down, up, up. Down, down, up, up. Now, this is kind of where a lot of people kind of hit that point where they get, overwhelmed and probably put the guitar down. So it's really important to, if you need to, pause and take a break. You can also switch up how you're actually picking as well. I said earlier, do a flick motion. You don't need to do as much of a hard flick with this. You can play it a little slower and do a lot of it with, moving your whole arm as well. It's really do whatever you want. So you can do this. You can move more of your arm instead of doing more of a flick motion. You can use more of your arm there. All right, let's get back to it. If you need to, pause for a few minutes as well. There is no judgment. Okay, hold down that E minor. We're gonna go down, down, up, up, down, up. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just add a down and an up at the end of that. Down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. So it's a little tricky. Practice it. Down, down, up, down, up. But you'll usually just get it by the feel of it. But really make sure you're doing those 2 up strokes in a row. That's the hardest part of this. Once you get it down, you'll be able to add chords and make it sound a lot better like this. I'm doing a little variations there, just playing random chords. And also with the right hand, you can also change it up every once in a while for a little bit. Let's say you want to do down, up, down, up, down, up, instead of down, down, up, down, up. I'm just saying a bunch of random downs and ups. What I'm saying is you can switch it up. So instead of doing it like this, you can do this. You can really do whatever you want with it. Just make sure that you are kind of understanding what you're doing, and you can keep it the same. Okay, now we're gonna get really tricky. This one is gonna take a bit of skill, but I really love this strumming pattern, and it involves a little bit of picking with your right hand. So this is how this one's gonna sound. You hear it in a lot of country and folk music. 1, 2, 3, 4. So even me playing that, it's a tricky one because what you're actually doing is you're alternating the bass in between your strums. So it's called an alternating bass pattern. It's actually probably the hardest strumming pattern on this list. And even if you have some skill, like I said, listen, I've been playing guitar a long time and this is tricky. What's tricky about this? Well, the tricky part about this pattern is hitting that string in between because you're doing this big strum motion and you have to make sure that you're alternating the bass. So what I recommend doing is first, getting comfortable just with that alternating bass. So with your left hand, let's hold down a G chord. Let's just do the first 2 fingers. So let's take let's take our middle finger and go to the 3rd fret of the 6th string, and then our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Now with our picking hand, what we're going to be doing is we're going to hit that 6th string, and then we're going to hit that 5th string. So you want to make sure you're doing that pluck. You're still kind of doing a little flick motion. Just get comfortable with that first. Now obviously go a little slower depending on your skill level. Now you might be saying, well, Andrew, that's easy, I can do that. The tricky part about this is you have to do this kind of while your hand's in the air from the actual strumming. Because what you're doing is you're hitting a bass note, you're going bass note, then you're going down, up, and then you play the next bass note on the other string. So you go like this, bass note, down, up, then you're gonna play the string one higher, down, up. That's all the pattern is. Hit that, one up, bass note, one up. So 6th string, 5th string, 6th string, 5th string. Obviously pause the video and all that stuff as well. The hard part is your hand's gonna be up here. So when you hit that bass note, you hit this bass note, you're gonna go down, up, and now you're all the way up here. You're not already ready for that next note. And that's gonna be the tricky part. And if you just try this now, one of the things that you might have had a hard time with is not hitting this 5th string after you play the 6th string. So you play this 6th string, right? Then you go down, up, and then you want to hit that 5th string, but you want it to be accurate. You don't want to do this. You don't want to hit those bottom strings. You want to make sure you're actually just hitting that 5th string. So to get this down, what I recommend doing is really pausing. You hit that 6th string, pause a bit, 5th string. 6th string, 5th string. Okay, let's go slow, and I'm gonna do it one time. If you want to, try to play along. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll switch to a C chord. We're going to finish off this kind of blues progression by going to the D chord, to the C chord again, back to the G. That is that alternating bass pattern. Like I said, it is very, very tricky. So make sure you're really hitting that alternating bass part down good first. And what I was kind of doing there as well, one little tip that might help you out is after you hit that first note and you go into the next one, almost hold the pick more vertically. Really kind of vertically align it with the string instead of an angle. Hit it more vertically up. Now that's kind of against, normally you always want to pick more at an angle. But with this, you really need to make sure you're accurate. So you might want to take a bit more of the pick and be more vertical with it actually on the string like this. So see, I'm more vertical, I'm not on an angle. But obviously there's a lot of practice that is going to take. Okay, I want to throw in this more percussive pattern to kind of switch it up and give people, something a little different. This is found in songs like Horse with No Name. That was what I was playing a couple seconds ago. What you're going to be doing with this one, and we're only going to look at the first part of this pattern, is you start by strumming, but at the same time you're actually going to be muting the strings. So check this out. So we take our pick, we go all the way up here, and I'm going to strum these bottom couple of strings with my left hand. I'm also holding down an E minor. And what I'm going to do is while I hit these bottom strings, I'm also going to stop them with my wrist like this. So you want to make sure they're muted. It's not sounding like this. It sounds like this. Now this is the hardest part of it, doing that mute part. The next part of this pattern is you're just going down, up, and then you just repeat it. So you do mute, down, up. You want to make sure that when you're muting it, you're also hitting the lower part of the guitar. If you go too up here, it's gonna totally stop the strings. You don't want to fully mute it. You still want to be able to kind of hear the sounds of the notes like this. Not like this. See, when you're up here, it totally stops it. But as you get lower, you get that cool kind of, bass sound. You want to make sure that you start at the top here, and as you pick these bottom strings, you're kind of hitting the bridge of the guitar with your wrist. And once you get comfortable with that, all you're going to do after that is go down, up. So you're going to mute, down, up, mute, down, up. Now, if you do want to play Horse with No Name, what you're going to do is after you play that E minor, you're going to take your middle finger, you're going to go to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and all you're going to do with your right hand is you're going to go mute, up, mute, up, mute, up, down, up. So once again, you're going to go to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string with your middle finger, and with your right hand, you're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up. And then the last two, you don't mute it, and you just go down, up. Now that's very complicated. Together it would sound like this. You do the mute twice. Mute up, mute up, mute up, down, up. Mute up, mute up, mute up, down, up. Okay, those are 5 strumming patterns that you need to know on guitar. And by learning these, you're going to be able to play literally so many songs out there. Now, if you want to learn more, I recommend checking out our Strumming in 20 Days program. And what we do inside this program is teach you all about your major or minor chords while getting you actually playing songs. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is playing songs. And that's what we focus on inside the Strumming in 20 Days program. We put this little workbook together. Well, it's not really little. It's got what? It's got about 50 pages, I think, in here. And then we have videos to go along with it. And this is just going to give you a little more extra help if you need it when it comes to strumming on guitar. Because we'll start with simple stuff, give you exercises, and slowly build your skill. So to grab the Strumming in 20 Days program, support us here at Acoustia, you can check in the comments or in the description, and you'll find a link to join there. We have a bunch of other programs as well, but this is our basic beginner strumming program. So check it out in the comments. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe as well. We'll be posting a ton of amazing guitar content like this throughout the entire year. Anyways, I hope this helped, and I will see you soon.